Hi students, welcome to English 491, Advanced Fiction Writing. I'm your professor, Marianne Moenraj. You can call me Dr. Moenraj, Professor Marianne, any of those are fine. To tell you a little about myself, I've been writing for 25 plus years, teaching for a little over 15 years. I have published 15 books, I think, at this point. If you look me up on Wikipedia, you will get a lot more information about the kinds of things I write. I spend a lot of time on social media, so if you find me on Facebook or Twitter, you will also get a lot more about what I'm writing, and a fair bit of it will be, a fair bit of the conversation there will be writing related, though not all of it. You will also see cute pictures of my cat and dog and kids. And food, lots of food photos. My most recent book was oddly a cookbook. For this class, you are going to be writing fiction. I'm expecting that if you take this class, it's the advanced class, you are at least somewhat serious about this. So I'm going to ask you to bring that seriousness to class. In a variety of ways. We're going to do a fairly structured online class this time around. Those of you who took my class last semester, we were sort of freeform, and I think some structure will be helpful. So what that's going to mean is you'll be asked to do exercises from the week1. And to share them with your classmates and me. You'll be asked to read short stories from the anthology I'm assigning and write craft analyses for that. And I'll be asking one of you each week to take the lead on a craft analysis, probably a couple of you actually each week. And then you'll be writing comments on each other's responses. You're going to write your own stories, of course. Each of you will write 2 stories over the course of the semester. And you are going to be critiquing with attention and care your classmates' stories. So please don't do that at the last minute. Don't do any of it at the last minute because you won't do it as well. But especially writing your own stories, put the time in. You're only going to get to be critiqued twice over the course of the semester, and it's really a valuable thing, getting the attention and the feedback of a dozen other dedicated writers. Once you're out of school, it's not easy to get that kind of thoughtful feedback. So I'd encourage you to bring stories to them that you are excited about, that you're proud of, that you've worked on, even if it's fine if they're stuck in some way. I mean, that's part of what workshop is for, but just don't do it at the last minute. Put some of your best work in, or I think you'll regret it. Okay, in terms of what kinds of stuff you can submit, some college classes, the professors aren't comfortable with genre fiction, science fiction, fantasy, history, romance, erotica, horror, etc. I'm not a big romance reader, but or a big horror reader actually, but any of those genres is fine for this class, as well as mainstream realist fiction. I write in a variety of genres myself. My most recent work has mostly been science fiction. I take it pretty seriously, and I will expect you to bring that same thoughtful literary approach to any genre writing you do in class. Okay, I think I've covered most of the logistics, what kinds of stuff you can write. Generally, I'd recommend that you do a complete short story for your submission. If you are working on a novel, you can submit an excerpt of a novel. It's very hard to critique novels outside the context of a dedicated novel writing space for a variety of reasons, but we'll do our best for you. And I hate to say, like, you can't bring that in here if maybe some of you, I've had students who have been working on a novel for 3 or 4 years, and they have it pretty well developed and are desperate to get some eyes on it. So that is an option. On the other side of things, let's say you write short rather than long, and you have, usually I think I give a guideline of 3,000 to 10,000 words for your story submission, which is, you can do a rough calculation, about 300 words as a page. So that is 10 to, I don't know, 30 plus pages of writing that you'll be handing in. If you write flash fiction, or you write very short and you want to use your slot to submit 3 or 5 very short pieces that are complete pieces, that's also okay. I've had students who have done that and done that well. That doesn't mean we want to see a lot of fragments, right? Each piece, if you're going to do that, should be complete and be able to stand on its own. Okay, I think that is the bulk of it. The only other logistical things are that we're going to meet only on Wednesdays in the Zoom. I encourage you to try very hard to make it to that. Generally, there's a courtesy aspect that goes into a writing workshop, because people are going to put a lot of time and attention into your piece, and you should do the same for them. So if you're going to miss any classes this semester, I'd encourage you to prioritize the classes where you are critiquing your classmates as part of your sort of professionalization as a writer and taking the job seriously. In terms of technical things, I'm asking you all to join Slack. I know we have Blackboard. Slack is better. It's free, it's easy to learn. I'm sending you a link, and you'll join our Slack space. And my students last semester found it really helpful for collaborating, for talking with each other in a more casual way, as well as doing classwork. So I think you'll enjoy it there. So sorry to make you learn one new tech thing. It is something that's used very widely in the business world. So there's a good chance that once you graduate, you'll be asked to use Slack for something. So you'll have a bit of a head start on that. Okay, I think that is most of it. I'm going to generally try to send out the week's assignments by Monday. In previous years, I would have done a really detailed syllabus, but with the pandemic and how we're doing it this way, I think my plan is to keep it a little more nimble. And so you're going to get, on Monday mornings, class meets at 12 in theory, I think. You'll get the assignments for the week. You'll also have a broad overview of what's coming over the course of the semester, but I want to be able to tailor the readings and the exercises to some extent to what you guys need as I get to know you and your work better. All right, your first assignment, I'm going to write this up, but I will send it to you. I'll tell you about it now, which is just to do a little self-assessment of your writing. And this is kind of an introduction to me and the rest of the class. Just tell us about you, what you write, what kind of stuff you've written in the past, perhaps. Are you working on anything in particular now? What are you excited about learning? Is there something you want to focus on? Yeah, just a little bit of a general thing. These can be pretty short. I'd say a half page to a page, and you're going to post them in the Slack for our class in the intros channel. And if you can do that by Tuesday night, that's your first assignment for this course, is to do that. Also, so that we can hopefully all read it before we meet on Wednesday. You do need to get 2 books, and those will be on the syllabus that I'll send out. They're the same books from last semester, so just hang on to them if you have them already. We'll also talk about, there's so many great writing books out there, so we will talk about lots of others that you're not being assigned, but that I'd recommend if you have time. Reading writing books is terrific fun sometimes. For example, I totally love Anne Lamott's Bird by Bird. So if you haven't read that and you're looking for something inspiring about writing, strongly recommend. It is, she has a lot of great wisdom in there that will help you along the way. Stephen King's On Writing is also surprisingly good. So, sorry, that's a little bit of a slam at Stephen King to say it surprisingly, which is maybe not fair. but I was more engaged than I expected to be, given that generally I don't read a lot of horror because I find it too scary and I have nightmares. Okay. Oh, last thing, I swear. I encourage you to read something of mine. So, and the reason I say that is it will give you a sense of what my strengths are, also maybe my weaknesses are as a writer, and it'll make it clearer to you what you might be able to learn from me as opposed to another teacher. And I'd recommend that with any writing class you take in the future. You know, sign up for a class, look at the professor, whoever's teaching it, and read some of their work. You have to read in this job. If you're not reading a lot, it's going to really hold you back. So block out some time for reading. And yeah, I think that's it. Hopefully we'll have a lot of fun. Writing workshops generally are a blast. So, okay, see you guys on Wednesday.